Hello there. I think I done fucked up, so you can bear with me for a second. I'm gonna do an experiment. I think, like, I did a video with this. I was listening to music through headphones. Can you hear me now? 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 I hope so, because yeah, that was fairly amusing. Yeah, I was a very amusing jackass in this video, and uh, yeah, I was all over the damn place because my head is this morning, and pretty soon I'm gonna get washed out by the sun. But um, it was kind of a cool video because it was dim, and then it got lighter and lighter gradually as I blathered on. And plus, I was making a complete idiot out of myself, which is always enjoyable. You know? But now yeah, I can't duplicate that level of idiocy, no matter how hard I would try. Anyways, so yesterday I called my buddy up, and I was like, I want to go fishing. I think I figured out a way that I can go fishing. So, call me whenever. So he called me back like almost immediately. He's like, I was like, well, I assume you got my text. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I think I can take that one scooter to this one pond we go to and just drive it right up to the water. And I can actually sit on the scooter and fish off of it. He goes, yeah, I think that would work, except for you got the plat, the place past the bridge has like a swampy area. And I was like, yeah, I'll talk to my brother about that. And he thinks I can skirt it and just ride the scooter around the low ground that's, got you get wet feet in. He's like, no, I don't think so. He's like, I don't think that's going to happen. I was like, well, you can always give me a tow. But he missed the joke. Um, like a car getting stuck in the mud or the snow or whatever. He could hook his car up to the bumper of my scooter and yank me out of the mud. But anyways, um, that's the plan for today. I woke up, of course, feeling not at my worst, but headache, leg killing me, stomach messed up, just feeling awful. And yeah, brain scrambled by pain. And so like I said, I made a 50-minute video with no sound. Anyways, um, it's kind of weird because it's I have to do this. It's something that I used to like walk miles to do. I ride in cars for literally 6 hours to go fishing one way. You know, I've sat in miserable cold weather, been rained on, wet, been hiding hidden caves before. Literally hid in a cave and made a fire because we got caught in a horrible downpour. There was like a little outcropping of rock. I thought it was cool. We went in there and there was some dry leaves and sticks and shit. We made a fire and tried to like dry out. And the smoke from the fire was like going up and around and everything. And it was cool. So, anyways, I used to go through all kind of hardships to go fishing, and now I don't even really want to go, but I have to do it for my own well-being. It's like taking a pill. Uh, don't have any choice in the matter. Worse, or a better example is taking some really foul-tasting liquid medicine for your own good. It's like this is what my life come to. It's like I don't want to go, but I have been out of the house for 5 months, and my brain is turning into shit. So yeah, 5 months in a house with only yourself for company and occasional phone calls, some interaction on the internet with you fine folks. And yeah, that's not going to get it in aid workers. And I guess I'm tired now. I don't know. These are repeats to me. I guess I have to tell you the aid worker story because my aid worker was supposed to come today. Uh, I'm in here yesterday at 6:30 at night, and I hear somebody yelling, and I have the window open for the cat, and I'm like, "Who is that?" I yell back, and I got music on the TV coming through the TV loud, and so I go out there, and she is pushing uh, frozen dinners through my window like letters through a letter slot in a door, like mail through a letter slot in a door. I'm like, what? And she's like, I got these frozen dinners, and it's like there's about 8 of them here, you know. And she's I'll just push them through the window. And I'm like, no. I came over there like she's handing them to me and stuff, and I explained to her that I was gonna call off the next day and go fishing, and that she was like, oh, okay, you know. I don't know why she couldn't have waited until Friday. You know, maybe she has no room for them in her freezer. Could be. I don't know what the deal was, but it was just a weird sight because the blinds were down, and then there's just meals getting pushed through the slot in the window because the blinds. I couldn't see. You know, nothing but meals popping through the window. But yeah, in the previous video, I did some speculation about her behavior because she's like in a difficult time right now because her mom just died. And she's super attached to her mom, and you know, her mom was in her 90s and she's 68. So, and it's your mom. There's no more significant bond than that. So, um, that's all. You know, unless your mom is like pure evil, that's always going to have an effect on you. And apparently, her mom was not a pure evil, but was a pretty fine person. And so I've been, you know, going out of my way to say nice things and to be nice and to like, you know, I feel kind of guilty saying this, but uh, she has some kind of superstition about seeing a cardinal after somebody dies, and she's like sitting out in the yard looking for a cardinal to come visit her to let her know that her mom was all right and stuff. And I'm like, if your mom's anything like you, I'm sure she's a fine person, and you don't have to worry about stuff like that, you know. So, but so she's like in like a fragile state, and the other day she had just clipped my hair, and I'm like trying to think of something for her to do, right? So I'm like, you clean off what's on the couch there. So she's reading through stuff. She said, here's some pictures. So take the pictures. And so here's some pictures of me when I was younger. So she's like, here's some pictures of me when I was younger. You know, and then she was standing over beside me, and then she started like caressing my head, like your hair is growing in fast after I clipped it. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't grow in up here, the important part is. And I was like, okay, I haven't been touched unnecessarily by a woman in like a very long time, so I really don't know what to make of this behavior. And but she's all over the place emotionally. You know, she's like she talks about it herself. She's like I don't know if I'm coming or going. It's like I can't concentrate, and you know, so I'm like the wrong. I don't want to be that guy. So I'm thinking like, why is she stopping after work to give me food that I don't need? I ate one of the meals and it was very good, chicken teriyaki. But you know, was she like expecting me to invite her in and then we'd have a chat, talk, or whatever like that after hours? I don't know what to make of that. So you know, I already exhausted my wit on the failed video. I have no idea why it won't record if there is something in the headphone jack, but apparently that's how these things work. Or what do I know? But yeah, that's just a shame. I sort of like shot my wad with the other video. I don't really have nothing for you but to tell you that I'm going fishing. and not looking forward to it. Like I have to leave the house. It's like there's no wake up call in this world like feeling some manner of tooth twinges or tooth pain, or even if it's minor pain, especially if you've had a lot of teeth pulled. It's like because that is something that you can't ignore. It's like you cannot ignore it, having a rotten tooth. You can't ignore it. So I'm like, I got to start getting out of the house. I mean, because I'm gonna have to start going to appointments. I was like, I got to go to the cardiologist. It's like I got to, of course, the orthopedists haven't called me back referral or no referral, and I haven't called them. Um, but say I got an appointment at an orthopedist, I'm gonna have to start going out. Like, what better way to like go out and go out in the country and get some Dr. Sunshine and some nurse trees and some physician assistant fish, maybe. What better medicine than that for my cabin fever? And he's retired, so drag me out of the house like once a week, once every 2 weeks, or something like that, and then maybe get me used to being outside and used to wearing a shirt. I'm nervous about wearing a shirt. I haven't worn a shirt in like forever, and that could be like really uncomfortable for me. So it's because of this, and yeah, so we'll find out today how much torture it is. They'll go home whenever I say like, I don't feel very good, because they're like, well, you're not dying in front of us, so I'm gonna take you home if you say you don't feel too good. They know they know my situation. They know I got a bad heart and stuff. But I'll try to hang in there as long as I can, even if it's not any fun, if it's like I'm in too much physical pain. I don't know if I mentioned that on this video or the other video, but I took 3 Neurontin because I woke up in pain, and I'm like, man, I'm going out. I mean, I gotta go out. And then, you know, everything you do, that expression from Shawshank Redemption, you got to get busy living or get busy dying. It's like everything you do in your life. I've thought about that, analyze that. It's like everything in your life that you do is going toward one of those two ends. You're either doing something life positive, or you're doing something that's leading to negative death type results. So you're either moving toward life or you're moving toward death. And Freud had this idea of there's like a death instinct and a life instinct. And the life instinct was Eros, because he was using Latin, Eros. And the death instinct was Thanos. That name sound familiar to you? Any Marvel Comics fans out there? Thanos. So he was saying those forces are pulling at us all the time: destructive behavior and life positive behavior. Now, me laying here in bed, that would be definitely Thanos. That would be the death instinct. I'm already practicing for my pose if I wasn't going to get cremated just laying around. That's bad. Positive is like calling or not, texting my friend and arranging a fishing trip and trying to get outside. Positive is me bothering to put this online for people to listen to. Positive is me interacting with anybody that wants to talk to me online. The negative would be like what I did the other day, is like watch porn literally all fucking day. It's like, man, I hadn't watched porn for a while, so I like watched porn for like hours, and I'm like, even to the point of like, your body is done, dude. What are you doing? It's like, that is destructive behavior, because you just spent a whole day watching other people fuck. That's not good. But I did not feel good that day physically. Felt like I did today, and I wanted to take vacation. I want to have a vacation in Bonerland. So, but that's actually not good. behavior. But everything you do, in other words, is working toward one of those two ends. So it's not a matter of like getting busy doing one or the other. You're doing one or the other of those things all the time. You know, you're not. You can make conscious choices, but even when you're just going about your day and you're not really thinking about it, you're doing that kind of stuff all the time. If you're going out there and you're putting negativity in the world, or like I say, like when this aid worker is like emotionally needing help or whatever, and I'm like, if I was to ignore or to be like, I'm say something mean, like I'm not really here to listen to your problems. You're here to help me. Instead, I'm like treating her like a human being. That's a positive thing. That's something that I can feel good about. Uh, Being confused over her stroking my head, I don't know what that is, if that's a positive or a negative thing. That's just me being confused. I'm like, I'm just not used to being unnecessarily touched by anybody. So whenever that happens, it's like, what does this mean? It's so stupid because, you know, especially in other countries, human contact is such a basic thing. It's like, they're like, and I'm not completely unworldly, so I've been around people that are like, it's no big deal for them to like throw their arm around on your shoulder, sober, and be like, hey man, it's good to see you, and be touching you, just grabbing your shoulder, or like have people, hugs and all that stuff. It's just, I don't get that. So it's just weird. It's like, so I'll notice something like, why is this woman touching my head unnecessarily? Where somebody else wouldn't even think about it. It's like, it's probably like normal human behavior, but, she's single, she's alone, she's needy. I'm 53, she's 68. I am not a catch, that's for sure, but I'm 53, she's 68. Okay. So in other words, that's what, 15 years? Oh, that's really depressing if I think. That's like a 28-year-old. Like, yeah, that's like a 28-year-old to a 53-year-old dude. There's a certain amount of appeal there. And that's right, isn't it? 50. My math is horrible. You know that. Let's see, 52 carried a 5 piece of paper. 53 minus 15, 38, not 28. I wanted it to be 28. Damn, it's 38. That's like a 38-year-old woman. That would be like when that woman Carrie was living here with the C cups. Like, you know, there's a certain amount of appeal in somebody that's younger, even if they're all fucked up like me. Plus, I'm funny and I'm, caring and, you know, nice to people and whatnot. And she's in that fragile state, so I have to like be careful because she's like stopping by after work and giving me dinners and touching me unnecessarily. And, like, it's like, as long as we got it figured out here, I don't even want a platonic type of thing where I have to like, hey, emotions, yeah, you got emotions, like, I'm sorry about that, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not in that frame of mind. I got a difficult life thing going on here where it's like, I'm dreading going outside in the country doing what I love to do. It's like, that's where my life is right now. So I can't deal with other people's problems except for on a surface level. So naturally, when she's in here and she's talking to me, and I'm going to be nice and supportive and all that, but, it's like, okay, that's as far as I want it to go. You know, it's like, I can't be that guy that's like, I will be as nice and supportive as possible on company time. You know, she's, I don't want to get her in trouble. I'll be quiet. I already talked enough about her, but yeah, she's not. Well, I admire that though. I admire people that like, this rule don't make no sense, so fuck this rule. I like people like that. So, but it is breaking the rules, and I don't. Yeah, I don't want to. don't want to get nobody in trouble, even if there's the vaguest possibility. It's just like a betrayal of confidence or something like that. That's why I said I didn't even want to tell that cardinal story, but that's, she's going through something. And yeah, as an aid worker, man, she's like unbelievable. The amount of work she does, it's crazy. She got like the energy of a 35-year-old. Speaking of like 30-year-olds, but yeah, I've told some stories that I probably told before anyway in the other video, but I was talking about this, talking about fishing, of course, and I had a few amusing fishing stories, and I talked about like a funny interaction that happened where there's only three people in the story that matter. I have to at least tell you one story. There's only three people in the story that matter, okay? Me, my foster brother, and this guy I'm going to call Froggy from the Little Rascals, because he had the Coke bottle lenses and he looked like an adult version of Froggy, and he couldn't see for shit. I guess he was legally blind, but he drove a car. I don't, whatever. I got my own problems. I got to catch these trout. I don't got to worry about this dude. So we're fishing for trout. The three main guys are there, and a couple other people are there that don't matter, that I don't remember anyway. But Froggy hooks into close to a 20-pound carp. Now, when you fish for trout, you don't use 20-pound test. You do the math. You're catching a 6-pound. You're catching a 20-pound fish on a 6-pound test. That's going to take a while. So, he's fighting this fish. None of us can fish for trout because this fish is just whipping his ass all over the place, all over the pond. Runs here, runs there, drag ripping, water flying, the whole works. So, he finally gets this fish on land. It's like, everybody's like, thank God, we can finally fish now. We just watched you fight this fish for like a half an hour. We can finally fish. So, I think even a couple of guys suggested just break it off. Just break it off, man. It's just a carp anyway. But anyways, it was a nice catch, even carp or no catch. Carp or no carp, it's a nice catch. So he's got the fish on land there. He's like, okay. He looks at my foster brother and says, can you take it off the hook for me? My foster brother looks at him and says, no. And he goes, well, I can't see. And he said, you saw well enough to catch the fish. You could see well enough to take the hook off. And he's like, man, help me out. Take the hook off. He's like, no, you're a grown-ass man. You can unhook your own fish. And apparently, that was pretty much all that was said. But apparently, that guy did not talk to him at work again until he left his place of employment. He's like, seriously? That's what you're going to get upset about? It's like, I would be embarrassed to ask another man to unhook my fish for me. It's like, it is not a barracuda, dude. It is not something that will rip your hand off. It is a carp. They don't have any teeth. It's like, so I'm watching this. I talked to my foster brother about it, and he's like, yeah, the dude won't even talk to me, man. He's still pissed about that. And I'm like, how can he be pissed about that? Because we were obviously raised completely different. He's like, I don't know. He's like, but I am not taking the hook off for any grown-ass man. He repeated his line from the pond. So yeah, that was funny watching that all go down. It's like, it just seems so ridiculous, But I can't top the other video that I what do you call it? Flubbed, ruined. It's just me doing this. With no sound, like an hour of it. So that's no good. Nobody wants to see that. But yeah, hopefully today, even if it's bad, it'll be good because it'll, yes, like I said, get me out there with Dr. Sunshine and Nurse Trees, and get me out there. That's like out in the country, and It's there's a road by there, but you can barely hear any traffic or anything. So the problem is it's bright and sunny today, and I'm liable to get sunburned. So I'm pretty sure them guys don't have sunscreen. Most people in Ohio don't need sunscreen in April, but I think I do, so I'll probably end up wearing a flannel. And yeah, for what time I will be out in that fairly bright sun, which is growing as we speak. But yeah, I hate that because that was a funny video, man. I'm like the guy now that was telling you, like, whenever you go fishing at a new place and the fishing's not that good, for some reason there's somebody always there saying, "Oh, you should have been here last week, man." People were carrying out fish in buckets, man. They were biting live. You know, it's like, no, that's just people being dicks. It can't be like that. It can't be like, "Oh, you should have been here a day ago. Oh, you should have been here last week." It can't be like that. Fishing don't work like that. So you know it's just people being assholes. Because so now I'm doing that thing instead of saying, "Oh, you should have been here." Yesterday, man, they were killing them. Today it sucks. I'm like, "Oh, you should have watched. You should have seen me on the other video, man. I was a complete idiot, and you would have been laughing at me and with me." This video sucks in comparison. So yeah. Anyways, I don't I don't know. I don't want to talk no more. I'm done talked out. Plus, it's getting to be a time where I have to deal with reality and see what you know, see what I can do as far as what this body wants to do. I got up yesterday and about fell over when she was yelling. I forgot, that I can't walk, so I just walked out there and I was like, "Whoa!" I about fell over. I didn't take a cane or a walker because there's just somebody yelling. It sounds like they're in my house. And so I was kind of freaked out by that. And I was like, "Man, what the fuck is going on?" And I forgot I need a cane or a walker. But yeah, fuck the orthopedist. I'll call him next week. And they'll be like, "We don't want you as a patient. We want you to take the hint because we didn't call you back. But now we got to tell you that we got to reject you in person." Like I said, the other video, man, it's like, giving your phone number to a girl and then uh, getting her number from somewhere, calling her up and say, "Why haven't you called me? Don't you like me? Don't you want to see me naked? Don't you want to cut open my knee and replace it?" I don't know if that worked or not, but it's exactly like that, really. It honestly is. It's exactly like that. It's like, don't call us, we'll call you type of thing. And, you give your phone number to somebody and they don't call you, there's a reason for that. You know, there's a reason for that. There's a reason why it's been a couple of weeks and I haven't heard from these orthopedist people. It's kind of funny that I got a referral to the people that referred me to the orthopedist, and them motherfuckers called within 2 days and set me up with an appointment over the weekend. They called me on a Friday and set the appointment up for Monday, and bada boom, bada bing, we smoking cigarettes, man. I'm, getting blood drawn and getting X-rays and um, instant patient. So yeah, I got to shave because this is starting to itch. Though I should probably keep something. It'd probably be good sunscreen for my face. I'm sitting out in the sun today. There's no trees around that water, no shade at all. As you can see, the sun is intense, and you can get a sunburn in April. It's just like them guys, they fish all the time, so this is nothing to them. And wasn't able to get a hold of my brother. He sleeps weird hours, and I'm, maybe my friend will have some sunscreen for me, and we'll see. Maybe I'll have a story for you of me getting stuck in a cripple scooter in quicksand. That'd be a good story. I'm telling you, man. It's not the stories of catching the fish. It's the stories of the fishing trip that are interesting. Yeah. It's like Okay, I can't remember much about this trip to Lake Erie, but I remember this part. We're getting on the freeway, trying to merge with traffic, going down the ramp. Somebody forgot to close the lid. I don't know what to call it, the hood, the lid. Somebody forgot to close the lid on the car. We start getting up to speed on the freeway. The hood flies up, and we can't see nothing because the wind, of course, turbulence is pushing the hood up against the windshield. We can't see shit. We're doing 50 to 60 miles an hour. We haven't really got going yet. Everybody said the same thing at the same time. Ah! There's a whole car full of people that were screaming. So we had a good driver though. He wasn't good at putting detail. He wasn't a detail man. Okay, so he didn't close the hood after he checked the engine before we left. So not good with details, but he was a good driver. So he didn't panic or do anything stupid. He just the freeway's straight, so he just like drove. We just kept the same speed and slowly decelerated to where cars were going around us blindly, and then pulled over to the side of the road. And then everybody was like saying all kind of nasty words, and nobody was blaming anybody, which I was amazed by because there's everybody was just happy, so happy to be alive. I guess that nobody was tossing around blame. But the hood was like misshapen and stuff, but they were able to, you know, push it down and get it closed, and it wasn't like bent, but it was definitely not the same as when we started. The sun is closing in upon me, so we continued on our fishing trip. I can't tell you a damn thing about that fishing trip except for that it was to Lake Erie and it was in a boat. That's all I remember about it. But not gonna forget that moment when the lights went out in Georgia, man, and that hood flew up and just can't see nothing. You're going, like I said, somewhere 50 to 60 miles an hour. Speed limit was 55 back then on the freeway, and suddenly your visibility is about equal to what your visibility is now. My visibility and the driver's visibility is equal to your visibility right now. So this being a decent way to close the video, I will push the stop button and talk to you later. Goodbye.